All right, ladies, buckle up. It's showtime.
And click, click. I'm clicked in. My seatbelt is buckled up, and I am ready for showtime. What's up, everybody? It's the Copperhead Road Podcast, live on Rumble, live on Spot. I don't even know, but we're everywhere. That's all I got to say. I'm Footer K.
Before we start, you double clicked. Does that mean like you're like in a 68 Fairlane or something where you actually have the lap belt and the cross chest belt?
No, I was going to go and click, and then I click, boom, and then I was going to wait for you to kick it with click, click, boom. I'm on the time, whatever that. And I thought you were going to have just that queued up for some reason. I thought you were that.
Oh, we can't. YouTube doesn't like us if we play any registered music. You know that.
Again, we're allowed to play. We're allowed to play as long as we stop it and speak over it. How's that grab you?
I wish that was true. I wish that was true.
How do you think people do reaction videos to you know what I mean? That's what you do. They don't pay the copyrights. They're talking over it.
I don't know. We always get scummed. Maybe it's because we're Copperhead Road. Maybe it's just because of who we are. But every time, I mean, like, matter of fact, remember a couple of episodes we were going through YouTube Shorts or whatever, and we came across that one that had Knight Rider in it.
Yeah, I think so.
We watched a little bit of Knight Rider. We got clipped for that.
Oh, of course.
It's like, okay, well, we're watching YouTube. How are we getting screwed? And the YouTube channel that we're watching is not.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, I don't know how this is important. We'll speak to our people about this, but for right now, fuck YouTube. I mean, they could, you know, like enough of your terms of service. You fucking censorship horse shit. Love them.
Yeah, you know, I think the problem is that we're the hot ticket.
You know what? Then you know what? That's fine. But wear gloves because I'm not gonna, as they say, turn down the temperature. You know what I'm saying? I need to be, as a ticket, I need to be hot. The point of the matter is, though, something has to change here because people should be able to speak. And I'm telling you, YouTube, listen, you get comfortable. I get it. Believe me. What do you want to do? Yeah, we get you the number one, video streaming service. Yeah, I had a major record deal. Look at me now. Be careful is all I'm saying. Be careful.
Now you're on the number one almost podcast in the world. So what goes around comes around.
I'm telling you, and we're going to know about
back around again. Oh shit! I think we just got clipped again.
Nope, you're allowed to cover songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's not the person's likeness, you know. But
who's gonna fucking sleep on Grand Poopa? Really?
Again, I think he's dead. By the way,
I don't think he is. I think he's alive and well.
All right. Well, again, you've always and you've been shilling for PM Dawn on the show, and I'm still going to say no. And I'm just
well, I can. Do we need to put a wager on it?
I don't care. What do you? I mean, the truth you have that there's nothing that I need. You know what I mean? So
all right. Well, I'm just saying we could put a thin dollar bill on it. And do it the old Trading Places way.
All right, let's do it.
Mortimer or was it Mortimer? And what the hell are the brothers' names? Do you remember?
You're Mortimer at the very least.
You're fucking Mortimer. How you like that?
No, you're a lot Mortimer.
Wow. Just seems rude. So yeah, we'll check and see if Grand Poopa is still alive at some point. And then we'll come back to that, and then you'll owe me a crisp $1 bill.
Whatever, you'll get 100. You'll get 100 pennies, and you'll like it. And I'm shipping each one separate. I'm gonna pay for shipping more just to frustrate you.
Grand Pooba is still alive. I can't say he looks fantastic, to be honest with you.
Then is he really alive? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of went to he kind of looked more like Bismarcky now than the thin Grand Pooba that we all know and love. So it's tough to it's tough to age out of the biz, you know what I mean?
And staying with the music on the music tip real quick,
Yeah.
I also watched this thing, I think it's called Last Band Standing, and in a nutshell, they get these people.
See,
There's
there he is.
Pooba. Yeah, 2009. He released something in 2009. All right, good for Pooba. Yeah, I mean,
Should've
look,
released the
he's just
ghost.
he's just an old. I would rather see somebody like from the Elks Lodge or whatever as the as the Pooba.
Yeah.
But there's a show, Last Band Standing. Basically, they take they gather musicians, like, they do like bass players, drummers, guitar players, and singers, and then they'll
Yeah.
grab, let's say, like, so what I say, bass player. So they'll grab 8 people at a time, and then, like, you'll pick, like, okay, this bass player goes over there, like picking teams. You know what I mean? And then they'll put
Right.
them together, and they'll pick like a pop song. I think it has something to do with Justin Bieber. I don't, because they used one of his songs, but it may have just been in that episode. But they also
Yeah.
use like the Offspring, and the band has to get together. They have 45 minutes to record the cover. So let's say it's a Justin Bieber song, but they have to do like a rock version or just a different version of it.
Right.
And they have 45 minutes to get
I
in the
like the
room.
premise. I like the premise for sure.
Again, the problem was, I mean, you can tell the ones that were like really talented, and just happened to get lucky, but you can also tell the ones that are like, oh man, like, not that he's not that good. It's just that you can tell they'd be a problem, if you're in a band with them.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I only saw there's only 3 episodes, but I watched them, and they're okay. It's okay. The premise is good, like you said.
How did your audition go?
Your ass. Believe me, if I auditioned, I'd win it. I'll tell you that right now. Now, with that being said, they did have like the 3rd episode. There was this big fat gay black R&B
Hey, you
singer.
told me. Go no more.
Yeah, and he was wearing all purple. Okay.
Yeah.
So that has that. There's a nice little picture for you. And he was playing with all the, like, he was the front man to all these like kind of like rockish dudes.
Yeah.
They did an Offspring song. They did The Kids Are All Right, I believe they did.
Okay.
And
the kids are not all right.
They're not, probably not. No. I like to put a positive spin. That was the Christian version. So what was his name? So we they did they did a version of it. I'll tell you, for 45 minutes, not bad. I mean, the dude sang it pretty good. They did their own little spin on it. They did it right, because they allowed that the singer did have a great voice. And just like I said with the gospel singers, they're I mean, the gospel drummers, they're a bit busy. You know how the R&B singers, they're a bit busy for my taste.
Yeah, you think?
What is that supposed to mean? I don't understand. What do you got me in the parking lot robbing wallets? What's the problem?
Nothing. Why?
All right, I don't know. All right. Anyway, that's I think we should check that show out. Maybe we'll pull it up one day and give it a little listen together.
Yeah, I think we're gonna actually pull it up right now.
Oh, okay. Again, I don't know how it'll play out, but let's yeah, if you got it, great. If not, no big deal. I would say like this is the actual Offspring. Probably get things for this, right? Or is it live? It is the actual Offspring. Yeah. Yeah, it would basically just be Last Band Standing, 3rd episode, if you wanted to search it. If not,
yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, it doesn't. We didn't expect to have it, so don't worry about it. So, what else is going on with you? How's everything?
Again, just to kind of go into, I don't know if you were here prior to this production today. We had a little oopsie daisy on the last get up. I don't know. You're actually a lot more handy than I think I've ever given you credit for. Just somebody kind of from your background of being from New York and in the music industry. Like I think I never gave you the absolute credit that you deserve as far as being able to take care of your own thing. You know what I mean? I
never realized that. Now it hurts a little bit.
Well, it shouldn't really, because I was never really forthright with you. I just always, like, in my back of my mind, I'm like, he's a useless douchebag. So I never actually came out and said it. So I think that's sort of like a tip of the hat to you.
No, it is. Sure, I'm supposed to be hurt by it though. In the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be.
What about the useless douchebag part though? Seems a bit iffy.
Well, again, but I was wrong. So you're welcome. You're not a useless douchebag.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that. All right. Why do I feel like this is like Critics Corner with a spin?
I wish I could get to
one of those. Okay.
This is not your inner monologue here. But like I think it's a to get back to what you're an incredibly self-resourceful guy, and I think it's awesome. But goddamn, is that a dying fucking trade? You know what I mean? Like I have a bunch of clients, you have a bunch of clients, and like they'll call me for some of the most mundane things. Like, say for example, they have like motorized shades, for example, or something like that, where the shade itself has batteries and the remote has batteries. And they'll call me and they'll say, I replaced the batteries in the remote. But the shade won't go down. And I'll say, well, did you change the batteries in the shade? Oh, they have their own Yes, of course they do. Of course they do. Well, how do you think that they move up and down? You think the battery power is going across? My point is, and again, I don't mind, because it's certainly a nice way to make money when they call you out to fix a silly thing. But it is really scary how unbelievably unself-sufficient people are. Anyway, make a long story short, we had a weird thing in the electric where the outlet that powers our Wi-Fi was only giving out 90 volts rather than 120. Now, again, most people would, call it an electrician. It costs you having anybody out to your house, it's going to cost you $500 no matter what.
Yeah, probably.
But again, a couple things here and there, replaced an outlet. We're back live. And anyway, but that was sort of like my realization that if you have a hard time making money, or you're tired of being employed, dude, find people with money, find out what they need, and give them what they need. It's that simple to make a fucking living.
Well, there you have it. Economics 101 from Rexy from Copperhead Road Podcast. I'm sure that'll be clipped for all the financial shows. They'll probably use that tidbit of genius information. Very simple. Find out people that have money and find out what they need and provide their service. Ta-da! Fuck.
All right, so we got that last man standing, or the last band standing with the Offspring cover.
Yeah, this is the one that they lost.
You don't say. This band lost.
What's Crystal Leah doing playing guitar back there? Good thing this isn't the fat black gay guy. So you're gonna go towards if you want to go back to that, if you want to just do the ending part and listen to a little bit of his version, it would be at the end. I'll tell you, you'll see him. Purple suit. Yep, the purple suit. Yep, right around there. Perfect.
How the neighborhood's cracked and torn. The kids grown up, but their lives are worn. How can one little street swallow so many lives? Chances thrown, nothing's free. Longing for
The Grimace on Ozempic.
Hard to see, fragile lives, shattered dreams. Shady had a chance, what she really did. Instead, she dropped out and had a couple of kids.
I know you're gonna like this, Rex, because you like CeeLo.
You're not wrong. I'm like a little fucking harmony with somebody. Why do these motherfuckers can't help them out?
Think about it. They've only been together 45 minutes. And they're improvising.
Harder than you've ever done.
The drummer was crucial to the whole thing coming together. His nerdy glasses and look and pretending to pose a rock out. It's perfect. He was definitely musical nerd.
I have less problem with the purple outfit than I do with the guy in the shorts.
Who, him?
Nah, the other guy. The guy that looks like Matt Walsh.
Yeah. Dresses like Matt Walsh.
Yeah, as a fellow fat guy, don't tuck in your shirt, dude.
Fuck. Wait, who are you talking to? The singer?
Yeah.
That's your critique?
I have a lot of critiques, but
That's my point. I think the tucking of the shirt is fine. I think God's proud upon a lot of other things that he's doing on his off time.
I have also a problem that they can't give him a teleprompter and he's going to read off of an iPad.
I couldn't believe it. Christ, that bottom lip.
I know. It's like he's chewing on a live jellyfish.
Yeah. You should get like a fake wax lip on the bottom.
Here, let's go. Let's look like that. I have a look at it.
Woo! Again, I think they did a really good job.
Yeah.
And
Certainly
you know,
the first rendition.
And well, to be fair to the other group, I think the part we listened to was them rehearsing and working on it. That and this was Ozempic Grimace. That was his final, the main performance that they did for the judges. So it was, but the point is these guys did a really good job compared to the other ones. Anyway, if you're into music, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool show.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I actually turned on a network for any sort of entertainment. I got to be honest with you.
I mean, it's archaic. Who wants to sit through all those unentertaining commercials? Not me. See, the good thing about this is, with a podcast like us, our commercials, we have our audience is engaged with us. So it's more really just talking to my friend about the things that I like and things that I would suggest as a friend for them to go associate themselves with,
And
but when I'm sitting,
if you want to see us do it live, join Rumble and you can subscribe, take 10% off for code SPOOKY. Enter code SPOOKY and Rumble and get your subscription 10% off.
Okay, so you're telling me that if I wanted to go, and get a discount on my subscription to Rumble, I would just go to Rumble and then I would hit my, really? So I sign up, and then when they ask you for a coupon, I put in SPOOKY, SPOOKY.
Yeah, go to Rumble Premium, and you'll get ad-free entertainment for 1 full year, 10% off with the code SPOOKY.
Wow. Ooh. That sounds too good to be true, but maybe I'll try it.
Say? If it sounds too good to be true, it's not.
So I think you're giving off the wrong message, because I know for a fact, look at this. I'm getting the thumbs up. I got my pal just went on his phone, just used the promo code SPOOKY. He got his 10% off. All right. Good job, brother. Good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Why
anyway,
wasn't he
what's up?
subscribed before? What a scumbag.
So what else is going on?
Well, I'd like to get your thoughts on the recent ups and downs in Gaza, with the Palestine, the Hamas not releasing the remains, and Israel giving them the what have you, with further initial bombings and whatnot. I'm curious to know what you think on that.
It's the thing that I always look to first and foremost. I go, well, it's really important. The deal happened. This is awesome. So
Yeah.
let me be optimistic. This is going to work out. Then I start thinking about the reality of the situation, who the people are that we're dealing with, meaning we, from the outside looking in. We're dealing with a situation that's been going on for what, hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's been at least a couple months, I think.
Again, depending on your scenario of what you believe. So I'm giving you that leeway. So point being, the reality is I really didn't think anything would come of it, because I do believe, unfortunately, it's going to have to be one or the other. And one thing I found fascinating was that they're giving 20 hostages back from October 7th, and Israel is giving 20,000 violent
either
terrorists,
actual terrorists or supporters of terrorists, or just a couple people named Muhammad, I believe.
How's that line up? How's that work?
And that's been true for, I don't know, the past 10, 15 hostage swaps, is that Israel has to give away a ton to get a little bit back. I think a lot of it just has to do with leverage. As when you have nothing to lose like Hamas does, even though like logically you don't have any leverage, if at the end of the day you don't care if everybody gets wiped off the earth, you actually do have the advantage. So you can make ridiculous claims like that, and get away with it, which they obviously do. But going back to your point, it's a scenario that I've laid out a couple of times now. It is the the Cobra versus the Mongoose. Somebody will die. And it may not be today. It may not even be tomorrow. But at some point, one of them will be eliminated. It just has to happen, because this is Old Testament stuff. It's not
Right.
It's not Civil War or whatever. Not Civil War, but
Go ahead. No, to say that you're 100% right. I was going to say, here's something interesting really quick, right? So, all right, it said 2,000 Palestinians that were released, the prisoners, right? 250 people serving life sentences for convictions in attacks on Israel. 1,700 people seized from Gaza during the war and held without charge. So that's interesting, right?
Yeah, thank you, Ali Velshi.
The key takeaway is the exchange involved a large number of Palestinian prisoners, including many serving long sentences for capital offenses, demonstrating a high-level nature of the deal. And they do have like the Fatah leader and the Tanzim chief jailed for multiple murders, and then you have like, I'm sorry.
I said I understand what you're saying. Oh, where'd Chris Hayes go?
I don't know who Chris Hayes is.
Oh, so you didn't like my Ali Velshi either? Again, they all just happen to share the same glasses that you have. The Rachel Maddow kind of reader glasses things or whatever.
No, I got you. I was trying to read. I was not paying attention, nor did I even understand one reference that you said. I thought you. I didn't know. I thought you were first of all, the Ali something, whatever you did. I thought you were making Palestine prisoner release jokes, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah,
I really did. And I was like, oh, fuck, I guess that was some high value fucking, Hamas leader that I didn't know about.
Right. Yeah. that I got to be honest with you, that well is pretty dry for me. I don't really have a whole lot of depth in high ranking Palestinian and Hamas leadership. I can't really go to that well too much.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Don't go to the well of people wearing similar glasses either. Just for, as we're moving on. Yeah, it doesn't feel good when people take shots, does it?
I don't really think I took any shots at you.
Pull up. I want to see a picture of every one of the fucking people you said, and let's fucking judge. Okay? Don't make me call you out. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm sure they're just.
We'll start with
I'm sure they're Dapper Dans.
Well, again, it's a glasses reference, not a fucking what you look like reference.
Okay. No problem.
I mean, again, is anybody going to question the svelte, unmistakable,
listen, this is
God-loving, beautiful features of footer? Never.
This is not about my incredibly, dashing, aged like a fine wine looks. This is about you trying to take shots when I'm trying to do a story here that was going to try to have a little substance, and you're taking fucking, you're making fucking jokes about Rachel Maddow glasses, not even using someone that I know.
Again, I was just adding a little third dimension, a little color.
Okay, so I'll just go along with it too. And I'm just saying it wasn't good. Okay, I don't want you going to that well.
I got to be honest with you. I would have a much easier time solving the fucking problem in Gaza right now than production has to fucking pull up an Ali Velshi picture. Motherfucker. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay. I don't even want the picture. I've been sending messages and saying, don't worry about the picture. We're good. It wasn't worth it. He stinks. It's your well that's dry, not theirs, pal. Your well.
All right.
Anyway, but move on to something that really matters. Enough of this bullshit and fucking well jokes.
It's a deep subject.
Okay. First of all, none of them is not really my glasses per se. I see. I mean,
they both went to fucking Warby Parker and got the same fucking one. I'm just saying that this.
Well, apparently he did because he got a couple of free pairs. I have one, and the point to all of this here is what you should have went with somebody like a Clark Kent, Buddy Holly, whatever, Bad Bunny. I don't care.
Yeah, again, the only one I give you is Bad Bunny because that's the only one that really has anything to do with now. I don't think a lot of our demographic would know who Buddy Holly is.
Or Clark Kent, you're right. Yeah, but meanwhile, you did a story on the Big Bopper, and it was your idea. So shut up.
I can't give you a fucking Bad Bunny. That's not even close.
It's fine. I don't even know what a Bad Bunny is. To me, it's an unruly hair. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't give you that one. I can't give you that one.
You can't give me unruly hair? That was fucking great.
No, I can't give you the Bad Bunny reference. Unruly hair, that's fine. You might want to get a hi, how are you? Tweezers. I was looking for tweezers.
Right. No, improv skills are on point tonight. And let me tell you something. If you want to,
they're as good as they ever were.
That's true too. But if you want to be as good as you ever were, let me tell you what you do. You go to Rumble, you go to your premium, you sign up, you use spooky coupon code Copperhead Road sent you, and you get 10% off. You're gonna love it. What else were you saying?
And again, like if you really enjoy free speech, and again, I believe that for the past 6 months, Rumble is actually getting more downloads from the app stores than YouTube and the other ones too. So it really is where the future is. And if you enjoy free speech, if you enjoy actually being able, and even if you're a creator, Rumble is where to go because they're not going to keep on, hey, you can't use that. And speaking of things that like are getting picked up on the YouTube algorithm, when I'm posting shows, like even our end song
Whoa.
that is a piano cover of Ghost, it picks up the melody and says, "Oh, just so you know, I heard the melody of a Ghost song, and that could be a bad thing. So we may have to block you in some areas." That's a true thing too.
Well, that's impossible. Meaning it's absolutely ridiculous. There's melodies. I can write a melody right now that's and that sounds. It could be 4 chords going on, and a melody is a melody. Whatever. I'm not even. I don't care. I don't care. Let's get to meat and potatoes. I want to hear. I want to get into the show. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And my point was before I was trying to figure out what's happening as far as is it really Israel being the big bad bully again? Was this all a plan, or is it no? Is it time where Hamas really did do enough to now warrant the beating that it's apparently getting? I don't know, and that's I want to kind of bring up and set the tone of where my head was at by showing some contrast of the 20,000 quality of character on the 20,000 people that were released for Palestine, and then I wanted to see. I was going to read out a few of the names and what the people did on Israel's side, just to set the character tone. So that was where my frame of mind was going. And then the other part that I was thinking about, that pendulum that swings, is the fact of, wow, the horrific deaths of civilians in Gaza over the last 2 years is something that can't be ignored. So I was trying to be able to see for myself, okay, well, if I was using those two, we're dealing with 2 really, really horrific situations. You know what I mean? How do we make something like this work? And I don't mean end the conflict. I mean, as we said earlier, something like this, I think you put it best. I mean, it's rooted in this biblical ideology, and that's why even when you and I were speaking about other things off the air, it relates back to, I really, really think that without concession a little bit on both sides, it's never going to be solved. You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say you have to go ahead.
I was saying, if it's not as simple as the concession is we're going to allow ourselves to be exterminated on either side.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is sort of the end goal of both sides. So, which again feeds into the fact that it's never going to end until it happens. But do you think that there is any sort of genuine earnest from either side of actually wanting to get to a peace deal, or is it just to basically appease the European Union and President Trump until the next bad thing happens?
I think that unfortunately is the end result, but I think if you wanted to set a tone, you can compare it to, and this is off the cuff, I didn't really think about this much, but almost with the racial tension in the United States, I think that you need to find a place like we have where we live with that racial tension. I want to say the majority of the time we live in some sort of harmony with the different cultures that we interact with for the most part. I mean, obviously there's issues and there's, people are people, but for the most part, I think what makes the country work pretty well is that we are somewhat diverse. Well, we're very diverse, but I think we all adapt to pretty well to different situations. Not everyone and not every situation. So don't misunderstand me. And do you know what I mean by that? Because I can give you,
Yeah. In any scenario, and including the one in the Middle East, is you have to be able to agree on at least some basic terms of reality before you can even move forward. And just like a lot of the problems that we have here, it's the problem that they have there is that the only thing that they agree on is that the other side's got to die. So it's really kind of hard to negotiate away from that.
And the problem too, though, is, and again, I don't know if it's the problem, or one side's being blatantly honest and the other isn't. So I think that most people always go, well, if Israel puts down their weapons, we don't exist, the typical talking point. If Hamas puts down their weapons, we will have peace. I gotta believe that I know it's not that simple, because if it was, I think the Palestinian people would somehow be able to control Hamas, and if it was that simple. It's not. There's, as you said earlier, that deep-rooted ideology that I don't know, but I was always told that in the schools in Palestine, you know, I think we even played bits on it years ago, how they were teaching these young kids to hate Jewish people. Like there was like the anti-Semitic Mickey Mouse type character. Do you remember that or no?
Yeah, I do.
So if that's going on, let's say October 6th, before the attack on October, on Israel, then that's a problem. It's not going on now because it's a little busy over there. But no schools are standing. But do you know my point?
Nobody
right, and I don't believe that Israel's teaching in their schools that it's okay to kill Muslims. Am I wrong there or no?
No, I'm trying to find the root cause of Gaza and the Palestinian plight. I don't believe that it's cultural. I don't believe it's an ethnic thing. I don't believe that it's a religious thing. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be shared and very, very strangely by coastal desert countries. And I'll bring up two. The Gaza Strip, Palestine, or whatever you want to call it, and Somalia. Now, there is no fucking reason that if you have more than 10 miles of beautiful coastal property that your country can't be prosperous. The only thing I ever hear is that Gaza can't sustain itself because of Israeli oppression. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me.
It's the both. If there really is an answer, though, in my opinion, for both.
Okay,
it's not succeeding with the resources that it has, the mass resources that it has, because the vast mass resources that it has, because of corruption. And the corruption on the Somali side are these warlords that take over this key spot, which is a port entry. And why they can't break past that, I don't know.
Right.
But and then the corruption in Gaza is the look. You're not going to get the PLO, the Palestinian Authority, why am I blanking out? The PLA?
It's not the PLA. It used to be the PLA. It's the Palestinian Authority something. Anyway, the people who are in charge of the West Bank.
Right. You can't, when you have the ideology of obviously a majority that sees their biggest fault is that they work with Israel, not be the key government for you, or the leading government in your country, and Hamas is the better answer because they absolutely despise Israel and want them eradicated. Does that, in the simplicity of it, not tell you something? And it's also my point with the hostages, and I wasn't saying that they shouldn't do this. You run your country how you want, but I'm trying to show the character of people. Now, listen, if we're going to go, and I'm taking it and kind of micromanaging, going by character, right? If you want to pull out, whoa, and look at the big picture, it's a different story because again, you can see how, if I want to use an aggressive term, how Israel has had their foot on the neck of the Palestinian people for a long time, and that's an undeniable fact. So, you really have to, again, you have to go back to where I kind of started with is that there needs to be concession on both sides. If there can't be concession, let's step the fuck back and let be what may be. You know what I mean? If you don't want America involved, that's a whole nother story, and we can discuss that. But for right now, what other options do you have? You fight for peace, like I believe Trump is doing, and I truly believe that. You can hate him all you want, you can not like his character, you can say whatever the fuck you want about him, but if you don't believe that he legitimately is a non-war leader, you're insane. He would rather not have war. Let's say it's so he can boost his own ego and say how amazing he is. I'll grant you that because of his ego. Regardless, the man is not a war hawk. He's not. And that makes the people in his own party, which were traditionally war hawks, angry. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't necessarily buy the argument that Israel is keeping Gaza down, because I don't see the plus. I think you actually hit the nail on the head with corruption, and then it ties into something else. But it doesn't behoove Israel to have a third world country next to them and then to keep them down, because like we said, you have as Gaza, you have prime real estate up and down the coast. You would be tripping over investors to be okay, build a resort here and we'll make money. The point you made with the corruption is that, okay, well, that can't happen because Hamas and the other sects or whatever that's going on there, sects, not sex, you sick son of a,
it's 10%
that can't happen because
go ahead.
That can't happen because of the corruption. So then that gets taken away. But the only way that the Palestinians, the people on the ground, will allow Hamas to be removed and for somebody else to be put in would be a concession that we're okay with Israel being there. So, like, as much as we want to, or we or the people who are defending the people of Palestine, they're the ones who are in effect allowing all of this to go on because they don't want to overthrow Hamas, and Hamas still has approval in the Gaza Strip. So they could, the Palestinian, if they were true to form or true to heart, they could actually solve a lot of their problems by getting rid of Hamas, allowing people to invest into their country and be another Qatar or Saudi Arabia or a lot of these other coastal places.
And you're saying who's they though? Meaning you say they get rid of them. Who, if the people of Palestine get rid of Hamas, or if they let, okay. How
Hamas only exists because, well, there's millions of people versus a couple thousand people in Hamas. Just like any other overthrow, and if the masses want to move, they have to do it. Otherwise, again, you're consigning yourself to an absolute state of misery for the rest of your life. Because again, I don't buy the fact that it behooves Israel to allow a third world terrorist nation to go on beside and not help them, because again, they left them a lot of when they pulled out of Gaza in, was it 2005 or something like that? They left them a lot of resources with greenhouses and equipment to build wells and things like that. And all Hamas did was just turn them into fucking missiles. So, I it's a problem that I think a lot of people do, is that they just assume that people can't take care of themselves, when either it's because they don't want to and they want to just rely on other people, or they're just evil, and they're going to do what they want to because they can.
Yeah, everything you said is makes good sense. Good sense to me. So using your line of, it doesn't behoove Israel to have a third world country, breeding terrorists or whatever, on their border, is 100% right, unless you believe that there's the bigger picture for Israel. And the bigger picture is that they want all of it. They want, from not the river to the sea, they want a river to the Mediterranean. You know what I mean? So, like, they want sea to sea. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? West Bank to the other. My point is, look, there are a lot of things that our pal BB there, has been, let's just say, exposed on being a part of. Not the conspiracies or the behind the scenes or the what's in his mind plans, not that.
Right.
The facts of him giving funds to Hamas to keep them in power. Now, again, it gets so complex because if I'm on the other side, I say, well, no, he didn't directly give it to them for the purposes of keeping them in. He was funding the let's say the people, the government, and Hamas took it and used it for horrible things, and then you flip back and say, well, oh, BB didn't know that they would do that. So you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to play both sides specifically to show that we can do this all day long. We can point the finger
Yep.
all day long. I'm telling you, you can hold Israel accountable for a lot of the horrific misfortunes that they have encountered, being in such a tough neighborhood with a lot of tough neighbors that don't like them. But
Do you
listen,
do you blame Israel? Do you blame Israel and the Jewish people at large for the mass circumcision of the Gentiles?
I was like, when you tagged it with all the Jewish people, I'm like, okay, where's he gonna go? Because I know he's not gonna be ridiculous and think that I'm gonna blame the Jewish people and or Israel for anything. Look, I blame them for I blame them for listen. All right, if I have to be blunt, yes, I blame them for killing my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Rabbi
Well, I
punches
get
Pilate.
it,
I mean, we get it. But my point is,
it's funny. It for some reason it sounded like a National Enquirer headline, because what I heard was Rabbi punches Pilate. Like like he got into a plane and fucking got
oy
pissed off.
vey, why are we so late?
Yeah.
Again, I'm on the tarmac. You know how bad I'm waiting. I got to be here. That's all I got.
I'm schwitzing all over the place.
Yeah. Oh my God. I guess I should. I do like a better older Jewish woman than I do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to prove that I do. I'm just telling you I do.
So,
well,
anyway,
yeah, no, it's not even in any way. It's a situation that I'm telling you, unless there's some sort of and it starts with every person that is at a pro-Palestinian rally, and it starts with every person that's at a pro-Israel rally. They both need to come together in those type of masses
and
to
fuck.
Say exact, and put their fingers right up their own oops, and but no, they have to all get together. What? And that was
praise his name.
and there was 10% off with using the coupon code spooky. But that needs to be the message. It has to be like the masses on both sides need to get together, and the message be like, look, this is fucked. We get it. You know what I mean? Like, we're willing to do something here. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
as our friend and leader of this great nation, Donald Trump, said, he made it very clear that, you know what he said, right?
What did he say?
Do they know what they're doing or not?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's kind of my point in a fucking nutshell. I think,
Yeah.
I think DJT nailed it. He likes to call him Digit.
Well, I think he's exactly wrong. I think they actually do know what the fuck they're doing, which is what actually makes it scary.
That again, or that. But either way, if in context, we I was kind of saying, like, the peace situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, I have no problem hearing both sides on the show. You know what? I promise you, I'm gonna get both sides, and we're gonna have them on the show. And we're gonna
we'll get Jamie Jew and Pally Pete.
First of all, they're not even real names.
You don't think Pally Pete exists?
If why does it sound like a somebody that plays for like Manchester United? Playing center for Manchester United tonight, Pally Pete. What I have the worst British accent. I have like an old spy, dumb spy. Hello, whatever. I'm done. Ta-da! And that's how it's good.
So we'll move on from that. But before I get to the next topic, which by me I mean Footer, I would like to draw everybody's attention to, if you would like to purchase stuff like that on a shirt, we actually do have a promotional store now where you can go and buy your own Copperhead shirt, Copperhead hat, and some other Copperhead type of stuff, along with some other kind of fun things. I don't know how much longer I can actually delay before production pulls up the commercial, but we're going to try. We're going to give it at least another couple of minutes, and we're going to see how long it takes until So go to stickermule.com/Copperhead Radio.
Why does every one of our shirts look like they were set on fire and then used for the clip? Look like we wash every single T-shirt 132 times before we sell it to you. So a little fringe.
I got to be honest. That is one thing Sticker Mule can actually do a little bit better on, is actually providing us with high quality images of our products. Because
that was the absolute worst representation of our lovely apparel ever. They should be ashamed of themselves.
And they should be. But anyway, either way, product exists. Go out and buy some stuff.
Not a sponsor. Because I promise you, they want to be a Sticker Mule. The best quality apparel T-shirts are right here, made in the USA. That's another thing. Don't make me fucking.
And that's the other thing. Like, the fucking apparel is great. The quality and everything is great. The pictures, they kind of suck. But
all right. Well, again, they're not until they become a sponsor. They're going to continue to suck. But again, we
Yeah.
wouldn't get on board if we. The truth of the matter is, all joking around, folks. We wouldn't align ourselves and get into bed with anybody that we didn't wholeheartedly believe in. I can promise you that. So if you don't want to be like Rex, then just stick with me. If I tell you it's good, it's good.
Seems like a slight towards me, but I'll let it go, I guess.
Eh.
There's nothing slight about you, Rex. All right.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm glad you did because now it's funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what would you like to talk about for 10, 15 minutes? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Yeah, again, I didn't plan on really moving off of the Israel Palestine thing that quick. To be perfectly honest with you, I was hoping that you maybe had a, as the fans love and comment about, a hot take. Probably definitely
Yeah,
had some
again,
hot takes. Am I right?
do you think we fell on the shill side or the anti-Semitic side so far?
I guarantee you, we're shilling for Israel today,
Oh, for sure.
without a doubt, without a doubt. And again, I've heard they don't pay so well. Let me talk to my guy and see what they pay.
No.
Yeah. Mhm.
Again, like I don't understand. Again, even if you are going to call me a shill or whatever, like I don't understand taking the pro-Palestine side. Now, if you want to take the side of we're America, we shouldn't fucking care, I'm all for it. Whatever.
So all
But if you're
you're
going to
for.
fucking weigh in, huh?
That's all you're for.
Yeah. Again, I could not literally care much less about what the fuck happens over
Whoa,
there.
you made
But
that really difficult. You couldn't just be like, I don't care what happens, because you really worked hard for that statement.
yeah, sometimes I like to flesh it out a little bit. Whoa, we were talking about
Put it in. Zip up. Flush it in, will you? Jesus, it's a family show. Craziest name.
But I mean, come on, as a Christian country, if you're gonna fucking weigh in, you got to go Team Jew here. All right, you know what I mean? If you're gonna fucking weigh in, you're not gonna fucking you're gonna fucking go on the teams of the Palestinians. Come on,
Well, look,
they
if
ever
you
fucking
want to,
give?
if
Jews
we're
gave
going,
us Seinfeld.
I'm sorry, God.
I said just Jews gave us Seinfeld. What the you really?
Right. No, but the thing that does kind of make me nuts is that the blatant again, it's really just, I guess, repeating myself, but the blatant matter of fact attitude towards everything has to do with the Jews. It's really, really frustrating. Listen, maybe maybe they're a large issue in the geographical scope of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that being said, as it does say in the Bible, I'm not going to quote, but I'm going to footerize it. All right. Let's get our own house taken care of. All right. It goes.
Yeah. You got to clean your room.
Right. You got your good one. You should have Kermit frogged a little bit more because you usually do it a little more.
You got to clean your room.
There it is. There's my sickly Peterson. I love it. Poor fella. Yeah, there you have to anyway, doesn't matter. You wanted to move on. I'll move on.
We don't have to. You want to keep going? Again.
Well, I
I'm
don't know if you have.
I'm DFW, as the kids say.
You're what are you?
DFW, down for whatever. That's what what all the kids say.
Yeah. You were more like DTF in high school, aren't you? You pig.
DTF.
You don't know what that is?
No.
It's down to fuck.
Huh?
Nothing. You heard me.
I didn't, but that's fine.
Down to fuck.
I heard you.
Oh, too late. See? No, nope. I swung it. There should be no applause. There should be none. And it wasn't. I hope you had a boo. He hasn't been nice to you, production. Boo his ass. Do we have a boo?
You suck!
Thank you. Ooh, that's gonna hurt later. Put your hand down, Rex. Sorry, guys. You shouldn't have to see that. I did have something else that I wanted to say about the fucking about Israel and Palestine. Is there anything that's happened? Did you see anything like breaking? Was there anything that just happened that's updated?
I haven't. It doesn't mean that it's not. Yeah, we'll have production look through and see if there's anything in the news. Why did you know of something that was going on?
Well, I did see this actually. This was a tweet from Mr. Not a tweet, excuse me, a truth from our president. Numerous of our now great allies in the Middle East and areas surrounding the Middle East have explicitly and strongly, with great enthusiasm, informed me that they will welcome the opportunity at my request to go into Gaza with heavy force and straighten our Hamas and straighten
Hamas?
our Hamas. I think he meant straighten out Hamas. Hamas.
Oh, okay, got it.
Wait a minute, you tell me the president does not isn't proofread is that's not good, Rex.
Why? You think you should?
He's
Or you
using
think somebody
quotes,
should?
straighten our Hamas. Maybe, well, if he's quoting, maybe, we will, Mr. President, we will straighten
All
our
right.
Hamas.
So what is on our screen here?
Well, do you want me to continue reading the Truth Social
Yeah, go ahead.
or not?
Yep.
In violation of their agreement with with us, the love and spirit for the Middle East has not been seen like this in 1,000 years. It's a beautiful thing to behold. I told these countries and Israel, not yet. There is still hope that Hamas will do the right thing. If they do not, an end to Hamas will be fast and furious and brutal, all in caps. I would like to thank all of those countries that called to help. Also, I would like to thank the great and powerful country of Indonesia and its wonderful leader for all the help they have shown and given to the Middle East and to the USA. To everyone, thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, again, I don't know what exactly his plan is. This may come to surprise you. I don't really know what the Trump's plan is, but I know that he's fucking had it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way in the world that he's going to allow Hamas to keep fucking around, because he you can just tell by his stance that he's had enough of this fucking around.
And ego alone. He wants that Nobel Peace Prize next year, baby. He wants it. You know that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and I really believe he's an older gentleman that doesn't want war. You know what I mean?
Yeah, God forbid. You know.
What?
I said, God forbid a guy who doesn't want war.
Oh, right. Well, again, I'll tell you that part. I respect the country, because I really do. As much as you have these Dave Smiths and these people going around basically telling you that if you don't hate Israel, then you know you're not anti-war. Basically, is what he's saying. If you're not against, Israel going into Gaza, you're not anti-war. If I think there's a gray area. Number one, it's not that simple, and
right.
Number two is the American public supported Donald Trump for president on immigration and on not going to war. And he basically campaigned on those things. And I do believe that he is trying to again, unless you believe in nefarious shit. If you believe in nefarious shit, then anything that I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyway. Let's be realistic. But you know my point? Like, if you're going to say, no, he's doing this all because, and then give me 5 reasons why, then okay. What do you want me to tell you? You know what I mean? Like, it makes me nuts.
Yeah, because I think he genuinely does not want the war in either
Yes.
venue to keep going. But to think that it's just going to be, you may have to start a fire to end a fire. You know what I mean? You may have to do that, because it's not just a matter of, sanctions only go so far. negotiation only goes so far. Withholding ammunition, giving more ammunition only goes so far. At some point, you may have to, burn a little ground brush in order to keep the fire from extending farther than it is. It's just one of those things. And I think he'll keep that in reserve. I don't think he's going to go, I don't think he'll ever go boots on the ground. But I don't put it past him to, to park something off the coast and flying sorties over top of any of the theaters, to get his point across. Because I do, in my heart of heart, I believe he just wants the fighting to end. And more than that, more than the fighting, I think he really has he's one of the very few presidents that I've ever seen in history that really values life, as stupid as that sounds.
His family too. His family is very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, and because you very rarely in history, and even in modern times, ever hear a president bring up, well, I don't want anybody on either side to die. I don't want any unnecessary death. And yet, oh, he's a king, he's a fascist, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Again, it's the most frustrating part. God, I mean, don't you understand? You want to dig into something against the president, dig into, I don't know, you're really against a president using foul language. Again, I don't agree with you.
Right.
But you know what? Lean in. It's something that's true. You know what I mean? Whatever. You don't like the way how arrogant he is. I love it. With that being said, he's very arrogant. You may not like that in your president. You might want him to be more Obama-esque.
Yep.
Great. At least then lean into that. But to create this horse shit is insane. And then it's proven to the American public that there was nothing but a fucking lynch mob for years and years. You still don't think that this propagandist, media, well, not even anymore, but these juggernauts and these people that are reporting, and running these big companies, the politicos. Oh, fuck you. Like, put out the legit shit. Put out that you don't like him because you feel his immigration policy is that he's enforcing, that he ran on,
right,
and he got elected for. With that being said, you don't like that part of it. That's very valid. Go crazy.
Yeah, he's not a hide the ball kind of a guy. You're like,
again,
you know what you're getting.
That's what it is. And again, you could even have voted for him. He's not executing it the way that you perceived it to be executed. Maybe he duped you. Maybe you just perceived it wrong, right? Maybe you didn't like it at all. But my point is, you can disagree and you can lean into certain things, but you can't lean into allowing, wanting transgender athletes to play, against women in women's sports. That shouldn't be a good, lean in point against Trump. If you disagree with that,
right?
You know my point, because again, the majority of the public does not.
I know what you're saying. Like there's plenty of areas where you could probably persuade the other side if that was your intent. But you seem to consistently want to take the 20% on an 80-20 issue, and you're not going to gain ground just because you're allowing the hatred for the man's personality to sort of override your rational thought behavior.
And I'll give a little tag to it, is that the 20%, the problem even lies in the fact that there's a 5% that believe in something, and all of a sudden, some of the 20% kind of lean into that a little bit to kind of make their point. You don't have to 20%. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stick
Yeah.
to your horse shit, and maybe it'll work out for you. Does again? You want to micromanage? Look around at the horse shit that your 20% is in charge of in smaller, at a state level. Let's say policies aren't really working out very well for you. With that being said, you want to lean into it? Go ahead. But no, he's a king. He's a fascist. Read the definition of fascism and apply it to the hard left and this president. Or do it blind. Do it blind. You know what I mean? Like list the things and then read the definition of fascism and apply it to that little list blind where you don't know what is what. And
we do have a controlled experiment for that that's already happened.
Yep.
What happened during COVID? Which states acted a whole lot more authoritarian than the other? It's not even close. So if you're afraid of fascism, the fact is that you want fascism. You just want the guy in charge to be on your side, not ours.
Right.
That's true. Because it's true.
It's true. And it's amazing how it's, and you know what? We'll have a little thing later about it. It's funny, but now that I think about it, it's amazing how the science is right and good for you when the science is right and good for you. You know what I mean? It's follow the science when it works for you. When it doesn't work for you, you kind of there's some nuances and some caveats that need to be thrown in. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's a tough one if you're gonna live on the science, and then did the science change? No, the science was being withheld because there were a lot of people that were giving the science,
Right.
But there were also other people giving the science. You chose to believe the ones that fit your agenda. And I'll even grant you the first 6 months. Mayhem, not knowing what the fuck to do, not knowing what's going to happen. But after the again, me even give you a year, whatever you got to do, not for strong lockdowns or anything, but I'll give you a year to be in limbo, right? But after the year, and there's experts, there's common sense, there's things that are 1000% factual. For example, the how it affects children, right? And then we're gonna close the little leagues. I went in front of a county board, with my two girls in their little uniforms, adorable, and lobbied to get the parks reopened in my county. And this was early. This was not like they closed down for like 2 weeks. I couldn't have practice when I was coaching them and running, and part of the league. I went right down to the county meeting and I waited for hours to get my chance to speak. I did. It was awesome. It was freaking awesome. I pleaded my case with facts. I started by making sure that I let them know that I understood. I think I started the whole little spiel with, hey, with what's going on, I would not want to be in your shoes. Thank you for your hard work. It can't be easy not knowing what you're dealing with and being responsible for so many people. With that being said, and then I went into my spiel, and at the end of my little, my 3-minute thing, we got to, first of all, they give kudos to my kids because of how amazing that they behaved for the 2 hours that we were waiting or whatever, And then they immediately took the vote and to reopen the parks in my county. So that's like a great little fucking victory. And it wasn't about me being science savvy. It had to do with me at the time going, well, we don't know much, but here's what we know. Right?
Right.
But that doesn't, why does that not apply? I'm obviously the dummy, right? Everybody knows that. I'm the dummy. right? I'm footer, Copperhead Radio, stutters, stammers. He's a dummy. So if I can get that, being the fool that I am, the ignoramus, as I like to call myself in the mirror every morning. I add gay in, but that's unrelated to the show. I don't praise his name. But why can't the intelligent, the intellectual masses, why can't they grasp that? Is it because they're fixated on the agenda?
Well, of course it is. And, there's a lot of people that have said, and it's really true, is that the actual very, very smart people all the way on one side of the graph, more often than not, when it comes to like basic knowledge, will agree with the common people. Like, ask somebody in the store, what's a woman? They'll be like, well, it's an adult human female. Then you ask the intelligentsia in the middle, and they're like, well, it's nuanced. Then you ask the really smart guy, and they'll be like, well, it's an adult human female. You know what I mean? And that's true with like so many of the basic knowledge things, is that people think they're smart because they can add nuance and add, this scenario, that scenario, whatever. And then you get to the smart guy, the Einstein, and he's like, the adult human female. Okay, thanks.
It's a great Einstein, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
One
other thing I just wanted to mention before we get going, we were talking earlier about me being a super right-wing person, and for the most part, you're right. But I was trying to think of.
No, you're right. We get it. Sorry.
I was trying to think of a thing where I'm not, and I want to give this to you and see what you think about. Is this like a super left thing, or am I just in my mind thinking that it is and it's not? So, they were talking about at the No Kings rally that there was a truck that drove by a woman who happened to be a teacher, and the truck had Charlie Kirk stuff on it. And the teacher itself, as the truck was driving by, she was going like pop, pop, showing the the bullet shot to the neck or whatever. Obviously disgusting, stupid, and completely out of line for a teacher to do.
Yep.
And everybody, from Michael Knowles to Matt Walsh, all the people that are like, this woman needs to be fired. She can't be teaching school, things, whatever. I really don't like that whole thought of what you're doing outside of your job should affect what you're doing inside your job. Again, disgusting, shouldn't be allowed. Those kinds of, and it's even like with people doing drugs or drinking or whatever. If you want to do a field sobriety test when you're on the job, fine. But once you punch out, whatever you do outside of your job should not affect your job. And they do it all the time. They call for people to be fired because of something that they did while they weren't on the job. I don't agree with that whatsoever, as disgusting as this person is. And the fact of the matter is that if she feels that way, her job performance probably sucks anyway. So if you want to fire her, you probably have just cause. But I that is like completely different than everything I hear on the right-hand side. And I'm just curious what you think about it.
Yeah. I think that it's a slightly bit more complicated, not a lot more, but just a little bit, because I think you do have to bring it into a little bit of a scope. In the big picture, I think her freedom of speech it should be protected, or she's not calling to action. So I think that's okay. Meaning, I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
But and I believe there needs to be some sort of consequences, right? Because you told me it was a teacher, my scope is now gonna be wrapped around that. So as a teacher, I think she has a responsibility, whether she's on the clock or off the clock, that she's in a position of almost power and influence on young minds, or at least at an age where they feel they need to be schooled, they need to be learned still. And if it's a higher education, Actually, I'm going to put that aside because I do have something on
Yeah,
that that I
she's an
want to talk
elementary
about.
school teacher.
Right. Well, there you go. So I think that if she has that ideology,
Mhm.
and she's willing to have the moral compass, and if that doesn't say something about her character, I don't know what would. And not because she disagrees with Charlie Kirk. Maybe she calls his character into question. But if your reaction as an educator is to do that and to yell those things on a public street, um, I would be worried that you're not cut out or disciplined enough to keep your A's, your ABCs and your 2 plus 2 is 4s. There you go. I don't think that she can't even keep her sugars, at a decent level. I'm sure her cholesterol is extremely high. I can probably tell you one thing she does probably very well just by the quick, and I can probably also tell you who she does it to. But anyway, um, but my point is that you know she's in a different position now. If you were telling me the truck driver, right, and he drives produce, from major markets to the Walmarts, he's an over the road trucker, and
Ooh,
that was the Mossad.
was that your phone?
No, that was the batteries and the remote came out, but that was the Rasad. I mean, the
Oh.
Rasad. Oh, that was the Rasad.
Yeah.
That's the Asian Secret Service.
No, I was gonna say, that's from the Cosby Show?
Oh, nice. I'm sorry. What was it? What was it? Do you remember or no?
Yeah, the bitch that got fired for.
Oh, right. So, if he was an over the road trucker and he's dropping off produce to the Walmarts across the country, I got to be honest with you. I don't really worry about his moral compass influencing. Sure, is he methed out and is he picking up hookers and probably burying their bodies along some random highway of in Minnesota? Sure. So call me hypocritical, but
Yeah.
I'm a
Corinthians
little.
2.
Pardon?
Corinthians 2, I believe.
Damn it! I love that bit. I got to steal it from you more often. God, I forget it. But my point is, I think that you have a little bit of a different responsibility in everybody's job. If you and I went on here saying some of the things that we say, that weren't clearly wrapped in satire or wrapped in some sort of trying to be, comedic, not everything, but there are some things that I may get called into question that we have this pulpit. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't just be, yelling horrible shit all the time. We can. It's
Yeah.
protected. But I think that I think that maybe people shouldn't or might not want to be associated with us. And I think that's fair. When you're a school teacher, parents that send their kids to a classroom, most of the time they don't have the choice of the teacher. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, my thing is number one, I have a hard time believing that that during the hiring process that there probably wasn't some signs of this. And with evaluations, a lot teachers all get reviewed by students and by staff. My guess is that it was probably pretty well known that she's a shitbag teacher, and she should be fired for that.
The problem is the ones that were reviewing. You nailed it. You said it. Everything that you just said, that whole procedure, they're all being reviewed by shitbag. This educational system that we're wrapped on. This what are they called?
Well, I mean, I also said students, so I'm surprised that you're calling an elementary kid
No, but you
stupid.
know what? No, because I don't. They're not asking the kids. The kids aren't. They don't give a shit about. They don't. They're not looking at it as being controversial. So I don't think that like I don't know if the students do evaluate teachers, which I've never had that in my life. Maybe now because of this woke ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe maybe they do let them evaluate it. But I'll tell you one thing. How about the kids shut up and don't evaluate it? Be kids. Let the higher ups and the bosses evaluate what's a good job. So
But I mean, you think that teachers like this didn't exist when we were in school, or do you think they were just they masked it easier?
They masked it easier.
So are we pushing to out these people or to keep their personal lives? And again, that's the other thing, is that maybe she in the classroom, maybe she did keep this personal stuff out of the class. It's hard to tell.
But again, where is then that should be looked into. But my bigger issue is you didn't have the discipline and or the wherewithal to not do those things. You see what I'm saying? Like that shows a lot about the way you adapt in your surroundings. And if that's your go-to move as a Charlie Kirk truck goes by you, that's a fucking problem. Again, maybe she was trying to be in some way comedic. I don't see where, but you know what? There's been horrible jokes said about horrible things that I went, it's kind of funny. You understand what I'm saying? Because that made me saying,
I need insulin. I need insulin.
My Ozempic goes here. But no, again. So my point is, people have to have consequences. I think you can go around saying the N-word. You go around saying the N-word in the wrong spot, you're gonna get punched in the face. There's fucking consequences. But you're not gonna have a knock at your door from the police telling you can't drop the N-bomb. You know what I mean? So my point is, it has to all be related. People have to be held accountable. If I'm hiring you to do a job, and you can't even keep the optics looking halfway decent for your what? I'm going to give you tenure. So you're going to be done here in what, 20 years, get a full pension or whatever it is. And I'm not saying teachers got the greatest lives. Believe me, I understand they're underpaid, but come on. Like, that doesn't kind of at least give you a little bit of a different outlook on that specific situation.
Yeah. I'm just, I was trying to come up with and by and large, and again, this isn't the greatest example, but again, just the natural stance of the right, where if they find something inappropriate with an individual, that they call for their firing. And again, it's across the board. It doesn't matter what they do.
You're right.
They'll say, oh, they should be fired. I'm just glad that you were the neo-fascist nationalist on this one and not me. So,
well, I don't know. I think the way I explained it might not be, but I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you need to tell yourself, Goebbels. All right. Thanks for tuning in. If you're on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, and how about you go and like and subscribe on Rumble, and follow us on Rumble. Maybe leave a few good comments. Tell your friends. Obviously, go sign up for Rumble Premium. Use the coupon code SPOOKY, and then write them a little note and tell them Copperhead Road sent you and you love us and you want our babies.
And I would actually like a handwritten thank you from Rumble for the massive amounts of people that are going to be flocking in to sign up for their wonderful broadcast.
You're welcome, Dan. I'll see you at the next volleyball game.
Get at me, Chris. Chris P is what I like to call him. Pavlovsky. Nice guy. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
What kind of deodorant do you use?
The one that's strong enough for a man but made for a woman.
I'm not talking about vibrators. I'm talking about deodorant.
Yeah. Secret. Strong enough for a man, made for a woman. Powder fresh. You mean under my arms or in my vagina?
I'm talking about just your basic fucking underarm deodorant.
Yeah, secret. Same thing. I just want to shock everybody with that, saying vagina on the radio.
But are you serious? You use secret?
Yeah. Yep. Nothing else is the best. It works the best. Mini is the best antiperspirant and deodorant out there. I've used Degree. I've used everything. I've used it all, and they're not as good. What's the one? What's the green one? The gray and green. It's the worst ever, by the way.
Yeah, isn't that the great?
Maybe it is Degree. I'll tell you, I can put it on. I can do 2 spins. I sweat a little bit. Look, what is this guy carrying onions in his pocket? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, one little, touch under the underarm with Secret. I'm beautiful. All day long.
I use Duke Candy.
Pardon?
I use Duke Candy. I can't believe you're a secret. Yeah, but it's a work. Don't ask, don't tell. Go to the schnock box.